Shalom, family. Shout out to Just Pearly Things for this podcast. I'm about to see what's going on with this whole Brittany Renner and Andrew Tate thing. Y'all gonna check it out with me? Let's go.
Break even, and that's the reality too. It's like if those morals and principles are not instilled in a man, none of that shit matters. So obviously the child support stuff obviously hits close home to me because I'm already 50,000 it's just in lawyer fees trying to get him to provide.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it sucks because it's like you play in the NBA, like why don't you want to do more? And it's just because again of the relationship. It's personal. It's not about our son.
Personal. That's right.
So it's like, yeah, if you're not
So
I just feel like it's like, why do you get money for making a poor choice?
well, it wasn't a poor choice because it took
And
two.
I'm not trying to like disrespect you in any way. It's just like if you left, and
No,
so it's
yeah,
like, why do you get
and
money for it? It just
right
doesn't make
because
sense.
because we made a commitment.
Hey, I kind of agree with Just Pearly Things because Brittany Renner tried to say, okay, no, it takes two. Yes, it takes two, but honestly, women have more power when it comes to sex. We don't have to open our legs. If it's something that's consensual, we don't have to do it. We don't have to open our legs. We don't have to say yes. We don't have to consent to it. But because we're emotional driven people, see, even there, Brittany Renner didn't want to take accountability that it is partially, if not mostly, her fault for the reason why she's in the predicament that she's in. It's like speaking for myself, how about that? Because I have a son. So it's like his father doesn't want to be a father. I can't force him, nor will I go through the state to make him pay money when the most important thing is him just having a presence in his son's life. I don't care about no money. Really, all of that child support stuff, the state is getting more off of us than we're getting. Like they're benefiting from it. This is why they love doing it, especially to men of color. So even though he's not doing what he's supposed to be doing, I will not put another black man in that position to be locked in with the court systems and them knowing all of my business and them knowing all of his business. It's like I'm just going to take responsibility for my actions. I know what I did. So, and now from what I did, I have a child. So, I just have to deal with it because of who I had the child with. Here are the consequences of that. And so now I just have to deal with this. Come on, Brittany. It's not that bad.
So we made at the end of the day, we made a commitment. We have a forever commitment. Fuck marriage. We are forever family. So again, as someone who is literally going through this, if I made more money than him, I would be paying him child support, and that would be fair to me.
But this is what's really interesting. What's truly interesting is if you go to other countries, and I'm talking about civilized countries, right? If you go to Poland or Czech Republic or whatever, these countries, which are in many metrics more civilized than the West, they're safer to live in, they're cleaner, etc. There's no child support laws. So if you have a divorce, the man just takes care of the woman because that's his kid and that's just what he's supposed to do and that's just it. So what you're saying is you're right about the man having the morality instilled inside of them. And my point is that the reason a lot of this doesn't exist, the reason men don't have morality installed in them, is not just about the individual case of the man. It's about society as a whole. It's about women as a whole, men as a whole, the dating game as a whole, the life he's living as a whole. And this is the world we live in. This is why I was talking about how dangerous new think is, because now we have this new think, this new world, and we're living in this new world. And the truth is, as a man, now the game has changed. In the game of chess, sometimes it's not about winning. It's about making sure you don't lose. If you cannot lose, if you cannot blunder any pieces and protect your king long enough, you'll win the game. And there's a lot of men who are now like, okay, how do I not lose? Well, you know what? I become fucking ruthless. That's how I don't lose. I get
Facts. Facts. Guys, if it's any men watching this, brothers, how many of you have to put on this? Because I'm just thinking of my own relationship, my own marriage, where he's able to be his softer side with me because I provide that safe space for him. But in modern society, especially in this country, many women are working with such masculine energy. I can see how a man would have to put on such a hard guard like every day. He can't let it go. He got to be ruthless because if he isn't, the modern woman will walk all over him. And that's just terrible. Do y'all see that happening today? Let me know in the comments because I know personally, especially from these podcasts and personal experience, I've seen it happen a lot.
get all my sex because the women are promiscuous. I get laid as much as I want. I don't let anyone fucking tie me into anything dumb. Any bitch wants to get fresh to me or fucking talk to another dude, I cut her off financially. And you just get ruthless so you don't lose the game. But that's because the game's been rigged against men. So the harder you rig the game against us, the more ruthless we're going to have to be to compete. And it's unfortunate. I'm not saying I have the answers. I'm just saying why men do what they do.
Can I just say with regards to Brittany, I just think that with regards to child support, you've got a kid, you look after it.
Hey, and I do.
Not you, the men.
I was like, I do look after my son.
No, not you.
Okay, I was like,
no, that's why I said. No, that's what I said with regards to the child support. That's what I first said. I think that you have a kid that you should look after it.
I don't.
Ayo, I agree with Auntie. If you have a child and you're a man, take care of your child. My goodness. Or stop doing what you're doing to create children. One or the other. But I also believe on the flip side of that, the woman got to take responsibility for her actions as well. Because when I went through it, I was like, okay, he don't want to be a father. I can't make him. I just got to be responsible. I just got to take care of this child. Like, I chose to be with him. I chose to have a child with him. Nobody forced me to do anything. So it really falls on me because I made a poor choice in a mate. Like, I wasn't thinking about procreation like I should have. I wasn't valuing my body or sex like I should have been. And now I find myself in this situation where I have a man who doesn't want to be with me and doesn't want to be with our child. So it's kind of like, yeah, if you have a child, make sure you're responsible. But also, before you have the child, when we're going through these stages of dating, when we're going through these stages of sleeping around, which I don't condone, you got to make sure that the person that you're doing this with is in it with you for the long run. Because when something comes up, like a child, they won't fold on you. They won't leave. They won't be rethinking the whole relationship because now they got to be with you forever type thing. Like, you got to really make sure that the person that you're doing these serious things with, like sex, is somebody that is in it with you for the long haul, like in it with you for the long run, and won't back out when life presents responsibility.
I don't agree with men giving the women money, but I think it's disgusting that a man can have a child and not support it.
So do I. But this is another thing. So this is the comments we have to make, right? Because we don't have all the answers. We have to make the comments on it. This goes into the deeper point. Every time a court rules in favor of a chick having $100,000 a month, that puts men off to a level. Like, it's fine if there was a baseline child support, $1,000 a month, $2,000 a month. That's if you have a kid, baseline, regardless of income. If your man wants to give you more, he does. If he doesn't, whatever. But when you come along and start saying this percent of a man's income, do you have any idea how scary that is to a man who works for his money? He works for his money. And do you know why it's scary? It's not just because he's giving his money away. It's because he knows he isn't giving money to the kid.
Yeah.
The kid, you can raise a kid on $500 a month in most of the world. You want that kid in Gucci, you in Gucci, you in a nice car, going on dates with another dude with my money. I'd rather burn.
Hey, yo, pause. When he said, when he said you want your kid in Gucci, you want to be in Gucci, I saw Brittany Renner face tighten up a little bit because it's like, from what I heard her say out her own mouth, she already gets $2,500 a month for her child. Personally, I don't know, but like the average person, that's pretty much what the average person is making, like 2,500 to like 5,000 a month. So it's like people are raising not only their children, but their entire households off of what you're getting for child support. Why do you need more than that? I don't really understand that. What are you doing? Like, I understand that you have a lifestyle that you want to uphold, but why you want to force somebody to do something they don't want to do? I don't know about that. I don't know.
Burn the fuck fucking house down and give it to you under
They
those
should
fucking
make
circumstances.
vouchers, Make vouchers for child support.
I just think it incentivizes poor decisions. Like I haven't gotten pregnant by someone, but like but I'm saying, but like you're gonna pay someone who's done that. Like why did they get?
Okay, no, but I'm literally telling you that what if I made more money than him, I would have no problem paying for my child. And child support laws vary in different states. So in North Carolina, for instance, if you make over combined of $300,000 a year, then you are considered off the grid. So then you have to prove this is how much your rent is. Any bill that my son occupies, I get a percentage of. So on the low end, it would be 50%. If there's a big enough salary gap, it could be up to 97%. In the court, the judge gets to decide what makes the most sense. So if my child's father makes $20 million a year from basketball, he gets to decide if $6,000 is a lot, if $8,000 or $10,000, whatever. But you have to prove that. So it's not like you just it's enough money for a Chanel bag. Like these are my son watches Peppa Pig. That's a cable bill. You know what I mean? So it's a
Hey yo, when a woman start doing when she start doing that thing, I'm gonna tell you what. I probably shouldn't tell you this, but I'm gonna let you know. She offended. She offended big time.
percentage of everything. So you're not like just living it up. You're just living. So you're able to. There's a roof over your son's head.
My whole point is that like it's all down to choices, and like
the man made a choice too because I can't get pregnant unless he nuts at me.
I understand that, but I'm
then there's nothing to argue.
You're the one that's only in control of who gets born. Abortion's legal.
Okay,
as soon as he nuts, it's completely out.
Whoa, just pearly things almost lost me right there. No, we don't do that. No, if you were grown up enough to lay down and do the do, you need to be grown up enough to just deal with the ramifications of what you did. I've been there, I've done that, and it is the most shameful thing that you can do. I would not recommend it. We're not even gonna go into that side of it because that's a whole different side. People don't even like talking about that. It's such a sensitive topic. But right now I'm hearing just a lot of lack of accountability and lack of responsibility on both sides. But I can only speak for the woman side. It's like you knew what you were doing. So you're this mad at him. I hope you're this mad at yourself too.
Out of his control.
Listen,
can I just say something though?
Wait,
just playing devil's advocate that I had my child and me and the dad went together, and I didn't take a penny from him, and the government wanted me to, but I decided that no, that he was better off that my child, I look after him myself. Anything he wants to give his son if he wanted to was extra, but I worked hard and I done it all on my own because it was this less because it's this headache. It's this
no, and I know a lot of women that went that route.
It's not fair though that you have to think that he's not going to be a man and take care of his child. Don't you think that's unfair on you?
No, because he's my child and he's happy, and I'll give him what he wants.
Child as well. He made.
Whoa, y'all gotta watch out for women who try to flip the script. Look how she's trying to be a victim. What are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? You did this to yourself too. And I'm speaking from experience. I have a son. I was a single mother for a long time. You did this to you. I did this to myself. What are you talking about? Nobody forced me.
That child.
That's why I don't need a man
but the whole
attitude.
point is you choose who you sleep with.
Listen, right, as far as
he chooses as well. That's the thing.
Yeah, this is two to tango. What are we talking about?
I'm saying right now it's not fair because women have abortion that's legal. It's not legal for them.
Oh,
they get no say. They get no say, and the same thing with birth
I mean,
control.
I could have done, but it wasn't worth my time. Why am I going to go and fight a man?
IUD. It's like 99.
But what if the man wanted the child though?
That's exactly my point. So I was on birth. Let's look at me as an example.
My point. I think he should. I think he should take care of it. I just don't agree with having legal incentives for women to leave. That's my point. He should give you money for the kid. If you have a kid, you should. But I just don't agree with
See, but the thing is, if men stood up and became fathers to their children, women wouldn't have to.
We're in control of who we sleep with. So at the end of the day,
that's not the point because
you pick who you sleep with.
Okay.
So
She said we're in charge of who we sleep with. And this woman, this sister, she gonna say that's not the point. It's the whole point. Like you gotta really vet a man the same way a man has to really vet a woman. You have to really see what this person is about before before you lay with them, so that stuff like this does not happen. Oh my.
Pick a guy that's getting girls pregnant left and right.
But she doesn't know that he's not going to be there. She doesn't know that
If she married him, she'd be all right.
She trusted this man to be a father to a child, and now she's left with a child, and no one's going to support her.
Marry him.
Don't you think that's
Should
unfair?
have married him first.
I mean, you can get married.
Of course.
You get married, but you get married.
That's what I'm saying. It's
You
just
think
like
marriage is what solves problems? Are you guys actually
Now,
sitting
what I'm
here?
trying to say, marriage will solve the
you don't
financial
talk. You've already
problems.
spoken, Auntie. Please don't cut me off. This is the problem, yeah? Stop acting like every woman that leaves a marriage and gets divorced is because she's this.
Whoa. What we not gonna do is disrespect the elders. She came in strong.
And she's that. There's a lot of women that suffer and they actually need the support and the legal incentive so that they know when they leave, somebody can back them up because they'll be on their own. Stop acting like men are angels, because there's a lot of men that are dealing with a lot of the traumas that they have from a man's world being difficult. The same way that Andrew Tate explained, a man's world is highly competitive. Men are out there suffering. It is hard to be a man, and a lot of the time, the person that takes the brunt of it is the woman. So yes, she's well within her right to leave, take her child, and be in a better place, and the government should step in to make sure that that man that made her make that decision steps in for their kid.
Can I say something?
The time that
She said that that man who made her make that decision, the man made you make the decision? Because I can recall from my own experience, and nobody make me do anything. I happily hopped and skipped myself over there to his house. So I don't think, well, hold on.
she takes to take care of the child is the time that she doesn't have to go to work. So she's already down on income and she's having to be taking care of the child on her own. That don't make sense. Not every man is a bloody angel and not every woman is a devil.
Don't pick men.
Wait, hang on a minute.
I'm going to leave. Go ahead.
Hang on a minute.
How do you do that?
When
Pearl?
did I say man was an angel?
How do you do that? How do you do that? How do you do that? How do you do that?
I'm talking. I waited.
Yes, you
I
did.
waited.
You sure
Right?
did.
So now it's my time to talk.
Talk to me.
What I was saying to her is that if she got married first, then should have been all right. She would have to be fighting through the court. So the same law that you're saying would have supported her and her child. That is the difference between getting married first.
No, the
and that's
only
what I'm saying.
difference-
And that's what when Pearl
Getting
was saying
married
about.
just gives you more money.
Hang on a minute.
Divorce
Listen.
and kids.
You
It's
listen
not
to.
a good decision, yeah?
Excuse me, but I shut up when you were talking.
Go on, apologies, my auntie.
Right.
I didn't mean to disrespect you.
So what I was trying to say is that there is an incentive when women get married first and have children. Because I'm not saying that you, I'm just saying women in general. If a woman gets married first before she has a child and then it leaves, then it's totally different. Like he said before, she's set up for life. If she leaves,
Auntie,
she's set up for life. So if somebody
Set up for
else,
life without marriage, though. That's the point.
No, and that is
you say what you want to hear.
no, and as a person, again, let's ask somebody who's actually going through it, because none of you fucking know what the fuck.
I like how Andrew just sitting there being quiet, letting the women have their little time. Because, once women get to going, we be going. So here go Brittany Renner. She finna talk about how, they can't understand because she's somebody who going through it. But Auntie just said herself that she had a child and the man didn't want to take. Man, let's go.
You're talking about when it comes to child support, lawyers, none of that shit. None of you fucking know, okay? So you don't. The reality is, if I would have gotten married and did everything right and did everything the moral way, right? Guess what? All I would have addition on top of what I'm going through with child support is alimony. So I'm still in the courts fighting, whether I'm married or whether I'm not. So that I get what you're saying, because hey, you at least get the commitment to, maybe back up that he's going to be there. But it does.
So it goes back to what Pearl was saying about poor decision-making skills.
Doesn't ensure anything. Everybody wants a fucking guaranteed thing. There's no guaranteed in life.
We're talking different places. When you're in America and you're married and you divorce, you still got to fight for your money. And would you still
Yes,
not
you
in
have
England.
to get a lawyer.
Right, not in England. In England, you get a lawyer and it's sorted. That's the difference.
But
You would have to be going there saying, "Oh, I need this for my child, and I need this." Once you get divorced and you go to court,
you
it's
still
that
need a
much.
lawyer.
Alimony and child support are different.
I'm saying she just spent £50,000. She's still fighting. You would have to pay
but
that
even
here.
when you're
You
married
would
in
not
the
have to
UK,
pay
you
that
still-
here.
She's in
You
Dreamland.
would not
That's
have to pay
why.
that here. You would not have to pay that here. Do your research. You would not have to pay that
But you
here.
still need a
When you
lawyer.
get divorced, she wouldn't be going for all the battle that she's going. It'd be simpler in England to
No,
get divorced than in
in England,
America.
maybe.
She will still
Maybe
That's
take
what
your
I'm
money,
saying.
It's
boys. They'll take your money. Don't get married. Have a parental partnership. Love your woman. Pay whatever you
I
need to
just
pay
want
for
to
your
make a
kids.
point. You know what you were saying? Get married. Even Tate said it himself. Men don't want to get married anymore.
Why are you not turning what he's saying? Why are you not twisting what he's saying? You're not even listening to what he's saying.
It's not attractive anymore. It's not a loss for a man to get married.
Wait.
She's trying to use, I don't know, but what I'm getting is she's trying to use what Andrew said as far as men not want to get married as an excuse for this type of behavior. But it's like we're not listening to what Andrew was saying as to why men don't want to get married. It's again, it falls back on us. It's about us and creating that space where a man feels comfortable enough to want to be there for you in that capacity. Because like Brittany said, her problem isn't even that he don't really want to be there with the child. It's personal. It's between them two. Man, I went through the same thing though. So I definitely understand where the animosity is coming from, but I also understand where the clarity of mind of understanding that it's your own poor decision making that got you to this point.
And you're twisting it to suit yourself.
What did you say?
I'm not. He literally said, Tate, didn't you say that men are scared of getting married now?
Yeah, okay, but why?
Because, like you said, with child support, they feel like there's no advantage.
That's-
So
And alimony,
you say just
alimony.
get married. It's not that simple because men don't want to marry you.
Okay, so let's analyze that point. And first thing, back to the child support thing. What's actually interesting to talk about is there's a lot of countries in the world where there is no child support system and it functions, right? So you have to, if you want to pay attention to actually, learn about society as a whole, it's very interesting to study all the different societies and economies in which there is no child support and children don't die. I mean, people get divorced and they still find a way to function. And it's interesting and it's a very long conversation because it extrapolates about how the whole society works as a whole. That's the first point. Second thing, I'll actually sit here and argue the point that I don't think any man really ever wants to get married. I think that women convince them to get married. And I think that any woman who is genuinely serious about convincing her man to get married could do it. I don't think in the modern world, at least, men wake up and go, can't wait to get married. But what they do is they get a chick who's so good and ticks so many boxes and makes them so happy. And she'll sit there and say, you know what? It would mean the world to me. Please. And he'll go, oh, for fuck's sake. All right, then. And that's what happens. So I still think you can convince 99.
Hey, that's what it seemed like happens because I bet, I don't know, let me know in the comments. How many men do you know that want to get married? Or how many women do you know that are marriage material? I want to know.
0.9% of men to marry you. The point I was making is the society.
Or rather, what is a marriage material woman? What is she like? And a man, for the women, what is it that you look for to make you desire marriage? Because it seems like in our generation, what they call us, I forgot what they call our generation, but in our generation, from the early 90s till, the late 80s to the mid 90s, we are not desiring marriage the way that we should, because we can bring forth a whole, with the way that we think and how intelligent we are and detached from the matrix, we could raise some very innovative children, like children who are going to bring forth a whole new future. But it's like people are scared to make that commitment because everybody is so shisty. Like the men are putting up such a guard and the women are acting like men. It's like, man, we got to bring back marriage for real.
Society isn't convincing the man to marry you. It's not like it used to be where the man believed he had to be married. Society's done the opposite. So it's your job as a woman to make it clear to him that it is worthwhile. Once again, how would you convince a man it's worthwhile for him to say, that's my wife? Status. That's how you do it. This is a misunderstood hack to men as a whole, is status. If you can convince that man, but by marrying you, his status will increase amongst his peers, he's going to do it. And for anyone out here who disagrees with me, the things men do for status, let's actually analyze how baseline men are. What is status? Status is respect, right? Men kill over respect. Men, gangs kill each other over respect. A man will smash another man's face in for insulting him. We will die for respect and status. You tell me we won't get married? We'll die for. We'll go to the front line of a war, and the only reason we don't walk away and abandon our post as artillery shells rain is because we're afraid of being mocked for being a coward. We'll die for status. So status is what it's all about. It's what it's always been about. If you want a man to marry you, status. And it's the same thing with nearly anything you want to do with a man. I don't know anything about your personal life. I'll be honest, I don't know, right?
I can't speak on that because I don't really know as far as from a man's perspective, but I do know as a woman, if you bring something to the table, if you can add to a man's life, to his vision, it's going to make him want to have you around him long, like longevity, like marriage. It's going to make him want to make you a part of that vision and of his household. Um, if you are adding something to him. So I do agree to that. That does make a lot of sense, right?
But I'll tell you this now. If this dude, this NBA player, believed that he would be higher respected amongst his peers and amongst society for taking care of you properly, that's what he'd fucking do. He doesn't feel that because either he's rolling with the wrong people or you've pissed him off in a way or something public's happened. I don't have a clue. But something's happened where he feels like if I take care of her, I'll look like a bitch. That's what he's scared of. If it was inversed, he had no problem giving you money because that's how men function. I'm telling you right now, as a man, I'm telling you what I would do. If I had a chick with a woman, right? And she went on the news, top G's this and fucking, like I said, I have no idea what you've done, but I was giving my personal made up scenario. Oh, yeah. She would go on the news, top G's this, and he fucking lied to me, he's a piece of shit, da da da. And then I bought her a Bentley. Women's like, well, look, she insults top G, she insults him, and he's a simp, da da da. But if she was like, you know what, he's misunderstood, he's a good guy, it just didn't work out, blah, 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 I bet she'd be in a mansion. Right? And would that be me being a nice guy caring about her? Or let's be honest, would it be me being a selfish piece of shit dude and saying, what makes me look better? Men are all about status. It's how we function. It's how we function as a whole. So society, this is where it extrapolates and gets interesting. When society with this new think has destroyed all of the baseline humanities and baseline understandings of how men interact with women. And now all the things we previously understood about what made a good man, what made a good woman, and how we should act together and how we should interact has been erased. Of course men are acting like dickheads, and of course women are doing wrong things, so nothing makes sense anymore. You've taken the chessboard and moved all the fucking pieces around.
Everything, I completely agree with that. Everything is out of order. Like, it's out of order. Like, what? Like, it's out of order. Like, man, there's so much stuff going on in the world. It's like nobody want to just be a man and nobody just want to be a woman and just function in those roles and be happy with them and be happy what comes with it. Like, for the sake of labels, so that you can understand me better, I am a traditional woman. I believe in supporting my man. I believe in cooking, cleaning, taking care of the children. I would not work if I didn't have to. I would not do anything but be a homemaker and push out babies. I promise you all this. And I'm happy to do it. My husband now, he don't even pour his own juice. Do you hear me? I don't let him do anything unless he wants to. Like, and I'm happy to do it. So it's like everybody is going against the grain so hard, trying to be something that don't even come natural for us. Like, women are naturally nurturing. We naturally want to take care. We naturally want to bring life to things. That is in every capacity. This is why we can have children. Everything that a man puts in us, we bring life to it. So I'm just like, why wouldn't you want to function like that? Why wouldn't you want to be that creator for a man? Like, what? That is powerful. But instead, a lot of my sisters out here trying to be men and compete with men. And it's like, they don't need that. Nobody needs that. Like, if we all just functioned in our role, the men would soften up. They would start loving us more. If we just start softening up and respecting them more, like, everything would just flow like a river. Like, I'm just saying.
Nobody gets it. It should be very simple. I'm a man. I work hard. I take care of my woman. I'm the man of the house. She treats me with respect. She would never insult me or raise her voice to me in front of other people. If she has a problem, she brings it to me in private. We act as a team. We work together. If we break up, she was a good woman to me. She fulfilled her roles the best she possibly could. I'm still a man. I'm going to take care of her. But all of that is gone. All of it's gone. All of it. And it's gone because of all the ideas we were discussing earlier. The feminism, the new age bullshit, the fucking dudes left and right and center. All these things, all these baseline things have eroded society.
Feminism is the worst. If you even just understand the history of feminism, as a woman of color, I personally have a problem with it because it was never meant for my sisters, but for some reason we got on that wagon. It was during a time where women needed to work, and then I don't know who I can't even remember the name, but y'all should research it, look it up, and get the history of what feminism is. I can't remember the name of the woman who started it, but it's like it does nothing for us to compete and want to be equal with men. We are not men in any capacity, like literally, physically, emotionally, mentally. There's nothing comparable between a woman and a man. We're just two completely different things. Now, when we come together, we can be we can come together and really mesh. But as far as being two separate things, we're two separate things. So it's just so crazy to me. Feminism is a thing. Every time I hear a feminist talk, I'm just like, honey, I don't know. I love being a woman. I love everything that comes with being a woman. I love that a man is my protector. I love that a man makes me feel secure. I love being underneath a man. Like I don't have no problem with it because if anything was to happen, like we know as women, we would be looking to the men to solve the problem, to fight the war, to fight the fight. So it's like we may have some little, rebels out there who are like, no, I'll do it, as a woman. But majority of us just want to be babied and taken care of. And so if we want that from a man, we have to give him what he desires, which is submission, right? I mean, that's what from my experience, that's what I've learned. Submission, respect, and peace.
Society to the point where now you have men ignoring their paternal instinct. You have men who will sit there and go, "That's my child, but I fuck her." That's actually a massive observation to make about how fucked up society is, and it shouldn't be that way because men in a lot of the world are not like that. And so you have to look at all these small things. The small things we talk about, it's no big deal. She goes on boats in Miami. It's no big deal. It is a big deal because now that dude ain't gonna want to fucking pay child support because you were on those fucking boats with his fucking the other team.
And the thing
That's
is
just a
that
game.
Do you think that men
That was well said, Sagittarius.
Thank you very much.
Do you think that men marry for like high status families? Like I'm thinking of like Ivanka Trump. Like would someone
As many
Okay. That was a good video. I didn't watch the whole podcast. It's like over an hour long. But if you want to check it out, go to Just Pearly Things on YouTube. If you liked my video, if you liked my commentary, make sure that you comment, that you subscribe, that you like and engage with me. I want to build a community. Like this is my first video, but I feel something moving. You know what I'm saying? So I want to build a community. I want y'all to engage with me. Let me know what you think about these topics of feminism and gender roles, like a man being a man and a woman being a woman. What does that mean to you? And how has it affected you in your life? Can't wait to hear from y'all. Shalom.